All right. Well, it is Monday, November 11th. I've had this idea for multiple months now. It's not that I've been dealing with a lot of executive dysfunction. It's just that I've had a lot of stuff going on while taking care of my grandmother, as well as upgrading stuff that I have, investing in things, paycheck by paycheck. Um, Burying my uncle last weekend was kind of crazy. Life is ridiculously short, and I honestly actually haven't known how to start this. Um, yeah, I like knowing how to start discussing aspects of mental health as a topic is kind of weird, but even more so, like trying to discuss and create a what you want to make as a proactive weekly series while it not being gripey isn't easy, because mental health is an extremely, I guess in some social norms the word here is triggering, but it's an extremely grungy topic that feels like walking through a swamp when you talk to somebody who's not trained on how to talk about mental health. And yet at the same time, when you're talking to someone who's trained on about how to talk to someone about mental health, it just feels like the room becomes empty and there's no texture to there's no there's nowhere to echo while in therapy and in psychology offices, a location to be able to acknowledge your own self-growth. I think that's what I'm going for. I'm trying to use thorough terminology to acknowledge emotions. That's what I'm trying to do. I just realized my mind's trying to acknowledge a shit ton of different emotions all at once, when in the bigger basis of it all, I want to address the fact that when you go to therapy and psychology offices and actually talk to someone who's trained in mental health, you don't really get a whole lot of a reflection or an acknowledgement. You get teaching. You need to go to therapy. You need to go to therapy. Everybody needs to go to therapy. Everybody needs to go to therapy. Everybody needs to learn how to have aspects of positive thought processes. Process. You need to learn how to think good, buddy dude. Sir, ma'am, they, zaw. What are some of the other really unique pronouns I've heard of? The pronoun discussion as a whole is very, very interesting. I'm an American citizen. The pronoun discussion here in the United States has gone so vastly to the point where it comes down to the populace has the right to elect and vote for things. And so either you get a government to recognize that there is he, she, and they, and a bunch of a large spectrum that anyone has the right to be within, or you have oh so many 543 pronouns documented as being valid pronouns with an aspect of law, and everything else just goes by the wayside. Because judiciary premises. That'll be a video that would be a really fun topic to actually go through all of the stuff that I have looked through. Learning I'm asexual. That was a really weird thing to struggle through. Aspects of my teens and my early 20s, not knowing that I'm attracted to people in a certain substructure, but not knowing what, and most definitely, holy shit, this culture around me is weird as fuck and cringe. I didn't like dating when I was younger, so I focused on education, and I realized in my 20s, wait a minute, a lot of this doesn't make sense to me. And then someone confronted me once and just kind of just informed me that I ask a lot of questions that are answered, in junior high and elementary school, and people don't know the answers anymore because they stop thinking about the answers. They just do. That's part of society. I just realized I don't have one of my little blocker things here, and so you're going to be hearing some of the pronunciation. I'm going to move the mic right here. So, Mental Health Mondays is me as an individual wanting to discuss acknowledgments of the mind while giving people a solid location on the internet to discuss things. I have a Discord specifically for that. The YouTube channel and Mental Health Monday, these videos are going to be specifically for checking in with yourself every week, and me myself checking in with myself every week. Because I've come to the realization over the last 2 months I've been disassociating more. Disassociation is when a structure or substructure of your mind, usually a defense mechanism that may or may not be fully built, triggers, but for no specific reason. Because your mind is recognizing something that can be a threat, or may be a hamper, or may be something that you want to avoid, but it's not fully. Your mind goes, oh, okay, but the mechanism that you built over the years of whatever, or dealing with something, or proactively going to therapy and being taught how to build something, has already fired off. And so you stop parts of your thought process and what it was you were already doing to be able to prepare for something that you don't need to prepare for. And then you realize what you're doing 30 seconds to a minute later, and sometimes we just stop in place trying to figure out what we were doing. In common sense, there's also a phenomenon of walking through a door frame, and a door is a mechanism, an aspect of renewal in common aspects of lore, mythology, and how we as humans teach. And so as you get older, it doesn't happen a whole lot when you're younger. But as you get older, when you start walking through doors, you start forgetting what you were doing. And it's funny. It's actually really, really funny. It's an annoyance when you're in your 20s. When you get to your 30s, you kind of realize that, life is something you need to kind of be a little more easy on yourself with. In our 20s, we can be really, really harsh with ourselves. Mental Health Mondays. Why Monday? Well, because Mondays suck. We are all allowed to celebrate the shared acknowledgement that Mondays are fucking miserable. Yeah. So I always thought, use Fridays and use aspects of the weekend to be able to remind and check in with yourself. That was successful for a time, but I just became busy. I became busy the more that I got myself out of stagnation by practicing mental health practices. Hopefully I will be able to discuss a whole lot of them, but not this video. This video is just kind of me brushing through a whole lot of different things Ta-da! Wow, my mind is really drawing a blank. Right. Well, I'm trying to introduce. My mind was saying introduct. Trying to introduce a principle of a series that I wish to do on my channel, in addition to streaming, content creation, blacksmithing. There's a whole lot of other things in the arts. I got an airbrushing kit, and then I ran into a lot of really wonderful mythical design coloring books, and I'm like flipping through all of them, and I'm like, oh, coloring books, it's so cool, it'd be really nice to relax with. And I stopped and said, wait a minute, there's a lot of blank space in all of this. I can grab a mechanical pencil and add to all of this as well. So I have lots of stuff for my leisure time. I am caretaking for my grandmother, relaunching my brand. My anniversary is on the 6th, December 6th. That's a handful of days from now. I want to have a regular schedule by then, so I need to be doing episode 1. This isn't episode 1. This is an introduction. And what are some of the things that I want to cover on Mental Health Mondays? Well, Our emotions are fucking bullshit, and everyone needs to do at least a week's worth of their life reading into their emotions. And I'm going to be really blunt here with you. That's saying that as an individual who's like 33, and I got back onto the internet, got back onto World of Warcraft. This was like a year and a half ago. Getting back in the World of Warcraft also again soon. I've been so productive in certain aspects of life. I just ordered a $2,000 PC for like $1,500, $6, something or other, $100 plus a fuck ton of taxes for Black Friday. And I would have never imagined a year and a half ago being in the position of doing this. But at the same time, 3 years ago, I was aimed at certain things that just blew up in my face over and over and over again. Finally, I had the original thought to just stop trying for blank and to just start building more things to be able to assist me in smiling and building productivity and systems of my life. Some of them capitalistic, some of them not. That really changed parts of my mindset. And that's a kind of bad metaphor, but I'm going to use it anyway. It's a metaphor for addiction. It's a metaphor for addiction, but I'm going to use it as a metaphor for mental health. This video is titled, I Suffer from Rampancy. And so I'm going to start leaning into what that is. So aspects of drug addiction for a long time were just frowned upon and looked upon as a black, white, A, B, C, D factor kind of a thing. And this professor, scientist, dude bro, individual, I don't remember. It was a long time that I read this story. He comes along and he goes, well, hold on a minute. We're basing our scientific studies on a rat. On a basis of a rat, and we're giving them 5 or 6 chemical options in the bigger picture of it all and just normal water. And this cage has nothing within it in any way, shape, or form. So this rat is going back and choosing the things that are drugs. It's choosing the things that are giving it structural stimuli outside of its normal perspective. So what if we, and I'm going to spare you from the explanation and the details. Anyhow, maybe it was 2 months later, they come back with what's now known in the scientific journals and scientific community as Rat Vegas. And so, 4 different sizes of hamster wheels, a built-in maze, 6 different levels of stairways to be able to get up and down between the different levels, different stimuli practices, scientists regularly coming in and replacing cheeses, treats, this, that, and the other within, I think it was 15 to 20 minute intervals. After 3 days of Rat Vegas being introduced, none of the rats were going towards narcotics, drugs, psychedelics, or any aspects of modifiers of a psychic being and basis. They were all going to normal water and going back to adventures. And mental health, there is an aspect of falling in love with sorrow, and there's an aspect of becoming addicted to identifying yourself with certain aspect of, that was, okay. The computer screen started shifting back and forth, and I'm like, oh shit. I'm working a lot on certain aspects of spatial recognition, constantly looking back and checking myself, but at the same time I'm in this really cool studio and I can't get over this armor. I would have never imagined owning this a year and a half ago. And then back here I have Howl's Moving Castle. This is my original Team Rocket alternative timeline character that I created for Pokemon Go, and then their system changed. And then this is a leather jacket from when I was in high school that I'm turning into a Fallout character. I am working on a lot of projects. I'm working on arts. I'm working on a whole lot of other things. And I've been working on this stuff and like getting these assets and these resources for myself for multiple years. But over multiple years, it was also me focusing on getting life resources, trying to save up for different things that blew up in my face. I've opened multiple small businesses. It was constantly saving up my money and putting my money into trying to make more money instead of putting any money into satisfying my inner child and getting myself to calm down. And that's a really open term, but I personified a fuck ton of my emotions while working on all of this. A therapist and a psychologist, I brought up the movie Inside Out made by Disney, and they thought it was a really, really interesting, a good idea, and I took it way too to heart. So, sometime next year, I'm going to have these characters properly produced and introduced. I gotta get my art tablet hooked up to the new PC that's going to be arriving. I don't know when. It's Monday. I think it's supposed to come in sometime on Friday. Mental health is something that is a lot easier to conquer when you have structures around you that remind you of yourself, as well as for you to be able to engage the creative part of your mind. Because a lot of depression is dwelling within the analytical part of our psyche that keeps looking at our own environment and the world around us. Fear is a pretty cool, valid emotion, actually. A lot of times people don't acknowledge everything that fear is trying to tell us. And a lot of people don't know what all fear encompasses, because it's not always the shiver down your spine and the ooh. It's also the whole kind of tenseness of the shoulders when someone is saying something to you that you question and you're kind of confused on. That's something else. I didn't mean to say that. Sorry. I was talking about anger. Anger is a secondary emotion. No one is angry primary. I, as an individual, I get really angry when people put words in my mouth and they move on with the discussion in a tangent that they're trying. It's very obvious that they're trying to end the discussion and move on with their day to not deal with me anymore. Or that's A. B, I've encountered situations also where I've gone up to people and I've been like, hey, I need to help you and inform you of this over here. And they're just like, yeah, okay, give me a moment, I'm getting this done. And I'm just like, no, if you finish this, you're going to, okay, hold on. All right, this is all finished and set up all up. And I'm like, okay, well, this, and this is broken. That opportunity is gone. I'm speaking more metaphorically. There's a couple different situations where it's just been like, hey, hold on a second. I'm going to fix this and check this over here, and then we'll get back to this. And they're just like, oh, okay, done. And I'm like, oh, all right, well, can't attach this, add this, and then do this then. Oh, well, you really should have told me about that. And it's like, it would have been longer to explain myself than it would have been to just go get the things. I asked you to wait a minute and a half. But it's okay. So the premise is I get angry when individuals speak over me, and time is something that we can't really change. It constantly moves forward, and people keep trying to rush discussions that they don't expect in the name of getting done with their day or afternoon or whatever back to their expected safe space. That's all normal. That's all. Everything I have just said is completely fucking valid. It's very valid as an individual being comfortable in your safe space. When I was homeless, I hated not actually being able to recognize a safe space. And I kept wanting to go back to the place where I was sleeping just to be able to feel like I was in a place that was a norm, but it was really, really cold not being a place that was like air maintained, like a restaurant or XYZ or whatever. As I disassociate and reassociate. So, anger as an emotion is a secondary emotion. Nobody becomes angry first. Somebody becomes confused first, hurt first, irritated. Someone misinterprets. I've not drinking water in like 3 hours. You were expecting me to finish that, weren't you? Yeah, no, I'm not actually gonna. I can. I've totally done it before. I just don't want to right now. Self-acknowledgement as well as acknowledgement of the world around you go hand in hand. And it's a lot easier to deal with others if you can recognize your own emotions first. If you, as I accidentally got into an argument with an individual the other day, and I realized, wait a minute, I've already had to say what it is that I'm upset about. I'm just yelling because they're yelling. Oh, wait a minute. I don't want to actually be angry. This is just us, like, I'm trying to communicate, you're yelling to defend yourself, and I just stopped. I'm not going to yell anymore. We need to talk and resolve this. And the other individual immediately screams at me, yeah, because you've already had what you have to say. Why are you yelling? If you understand that, why are you yelling? And I don't know, it's certain aspects of how humans communicate and don't know how to communicate is also a large issue in the world. And it's important to acknowledge oneself as well as acknowledge self-growth. That's why I believe it's really, really important to not look at yourself yesterday, but to look at yourself from 6 months ago. Have you grown from where you were 6 months ago? I can say yes. Yes, I have. For a few years, there was a no. Big bag of nope. For a couple years, it was me running towards everyone else's possible project, opportunity, and everything I could get my dirty, grubby little hands on in the name of not ending up homeless. And I still ended up homeless. It sucked. Life is a frustration. And learning tools, assets, and resources to be able to get through it is really important. That's why I need to go to therapy. Getting accessibility to therapy within your own region, nation, state, community is fucking hard. So I want to be able to acknowledge and recognize others with Mental Health Mondays. Oh, all right, there we go. That was good. Sorry, I was a little cramped here. Yeah. And so my goal with this, my goal with my Discord community is to create a location for people to be able to explore their own imaginations and the imaginations of others while having a space to talk about mental health and having a space to be able to talk about tabletop gaming, adventuring, storytelling, and life. Here on YouTube, this is my channel. Mental Health Mondays is going to be this place where I try to have mental health discussions and commentary here on YouTube as a platform within my infrastructure as a content creator and all the things I manage on the internet, which I built a whole lot of and then realized, wait a minute, to pick up, carve this specific stuff out. All right, that's better. Sometimes you just got to realize you put too much on your own plate when you were younger. You got to realize you put too much on your own plate now. Sometimes you got to recognize, sometimes life as a whole put these things in front of you that you thought you could control and you just can't. And you've struggled with that for way too long. You got to let some of these things go. That's just part of life. Mental Health Mondays. Very strange, abstract project of mine that I hope you enjoy. All right. So rampancy. Rampancy is something that I most definitely can say a lot of people in aspects of mental health issues deal with this. Rampancy first presented to me in the Halo franchise in aspects of video gaming with the artificial intelligence Cortana running through algorithmic processes, thousands upon thousands of computations per second, while incapable of exploring anything outside of her own digital space as an entity because she was removed as a chip that was self-computational and stolen, hijacked, placed away somewhere else and was lost for multiple years, and when recovered would just fracture within aspects of herself. In mental health, we as humans can become stuck on a tangent or an idea, a part of our life, certain aspects of surprise, a triggering moment, and parts of mortality that we just can't comprehend and at times can't understand. Me, I had a lot of things just occur all at once within a series of months, and a large miscommunication occurred. And a lot of people just defended the miscommunication. And then it was suddenly me realizing that I, as an entity, was collapsing on myself psychologically, and I just was blunt about it. I'm like, hey, my mental health is declining, I need help. My mental health is declining, I need help. My mental health is declining, I need help. Oh, well, you need to go talk to a mental health professional. Go talk to a mental health professional, and then whatever that happens, and then that, then the other, we can help you with that. Oh, all right. That's not a bad. Yeah, okay. Get a professional's opinion first. Present that more thoroughly. Great. Went to the professional for like 3 appointments. It was, this is a very obvious miscommunication. Oh, well. Back then, I didn't have the realization of have a professional present the actual what it was. I went to therapy, and the therapy really quickly became, well, this is obviously a miscommunication from a couple years ago. All you need to do is just get people to talk to you more. I went, oh, hey, this is what's going on. And it was, oh, well, we can't help you. You need to talk to a mental health professional. The mental health professional was just, oh, well, we can coach you, but you got to talk to people. And those people were like, oh, well, we can't do anything because we're not trained in this. Go talk to the people that are trained in this. And it was literally just, well, actually, I should say it this way. I've confronted these people over the years. Some people are stubborn as shit. Some people are fucking irritating as hell. Some people are impatient. Some people do not actually learn how to communicate properly as they grow up. And some people just become really irritated with others. There's a massive spectrum of everywhere in between. And as I turned to others and said, I need help, or I'm going to end up needing mental help, they went, oh, we don't know how to deal with mental health. So you need to go deal with people who know how to deal with mental health. And all of a sudden, I was referred to like every other common stranger. Instead of it being, this is a person who's regularly around me on a daily basis. And so I found validity and acknowledgement and principle within the opinions and perspectives of others. And people assumed that I didn't like them and kind of blockaded me off. And, you know, it was just a large loop for multiple years of, I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you. Oh, you need to talk to a professional. I need to talk to this. I don't know how to convey this. Back and forth and 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 back and forth. And over the years, you know, therapists work through this with me. Psychologists work through this with me. I know why this all happened, and I know how this all happened. And now I'm just kind of stuck mourning myself because it's 10 years later. I'm happy I didn't end my life because of human miscommunication. But I'm rampant now. And my mind can't stick on a single train of thought because it keeps looping on itself. because the defense mechanisms are built to not allow myself to go back to this looping mechanism. And I disassociate because there's 6 or 7 defense mechanisms firing at once. And that's where my executive dysfunction comes in. And a bunch of other shit. And everything you see behind me, except for like the stuff that's underneath the rainbow blanket, is literally just like a couch and a really cool tray table I've had for years. I actually want to do a really, really funny video idea. Alright, I'm hitting 30 minutes, so I got to wrap this up. I'm pretty happy I was able to wrap this up in 30 minutes. I got a couple really funny skits ideas talking about human cleanliness and how asinine we are as a species. Specifically addressing some aspects of you're valid if you're messy. You're valid if you question yourself. You're valid if you're rampant, just like me. You're valid if you have issues. It's really fucking funny how many there's what's a psychologically normative. There's a vocabulary word, and I will get back to you about what that word is someday. Maybe in the comments below. If you made it this far into this video, I'd love a fucking subscription. I have no idea why you're this far into a video about me being rampant, but I'd like to help others. I don't fucking know how. This behind me is amazing. I have a laptop with a fully functioning screen. I had a laptop with a screen that was broken in half last year. I got this laptop for last Black Friday. I'm getting a $2,000 tower PC for this Black Friday. There's certain aspects of this all happening because the people that weren't communicating with me kind of started communicating with me again and empowered me in certain aspects of things. I love being able to take care of my grandmother, to take care of her. I'm investing everything that I'm making into objects for my hobbies because I'm not actually being paid everything that I would be paid if I was a quote-unquote professional caretaker. But at the same time, I'm not quote-unquote paying rent, even though calculatorily on mathematically basis, I am paying rent. I am paying a healthy structure of rent, and thus that's why I'm not, I didn't get all of this immediately. You're literally looking at 4 months of investment and work. The plushie collection's been like a plushie per month for like 2 years. There's a massive wall of plushies inside my other room. All of these technological investments have been fucking amazing. I have a Nintendo Switch and a Steam Deck. I have things for content creation. I built my own Rat Vegas, dude, bro. Brodicity. Living entity on the other side of this digital creation of mine, casually broadcasting to the digital space. You can do it. You can survive your own psychological malignancy and fuck. Suicidality sucks. Casual trigger warning. Whatever. If you're this far into a video titled Mental Health Mondays and stuff I've been talking about already, sorry. Oh well. I am fully diagnosed with chronic dissociative passive suicidality dissociative depression disorder. And a fart. And a fart to you too, good sir. God, it's weird realizing certain aspects of childhood's like completely over. Certain aspects of childhood heroes, as me as a 90s kids, are gone. There's Batman, the animated voice actor for Batman just passed, and it's not going to hit me until there's another animated Batman production and it's a different voice for Batman. It's not going to hit me properly until the next animated something or other of the Bats occurs. This is a hard video for me to make. Existence is very strange and weird, and we are all valid in the strange ways that we suffer. And it is important that in your suffering, you need to create ways to mentally defend yourself. I created a personified inner child animated friend based off of Shippo from Inuyasha, because back in high school and certain aspects of junior high, those were the parts of curiosity that I really loved. I don't remember certain parts of childhood and elementary school because I had childhood depression. I was undiagnosed. Realizing that I wasn't being proactive in any part of life a month before I was going into a hospital to have my heart opened up to be operated on was a really weird realization. And then it was like, I don't want to go back into that educational principle. I want to go do stuff. I want to get a job. I want to this, that, and the other. And it was like, you need to just go get educated. You have the opportunity. People are empowering you. Blah, 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 blah. Made sense to me. So I just 24-hour focused on education. I went to college. I looked stuff up on the internet. I had those moments of relaxation playing video games on the internet, and I most definitely got my I have 1 hour and 35 minutes in World of Warcraft. Sorry, 1 year, 1 month, a day, and something or other in World of Warcraft of my life, documented every hour of that year in a video game. I had a very enjoyable escapism during high school and college, and most definitely, like, I didn't deal with certain aspects of depression when I was younger, specifically because I had that kind of escapism, and I was naive as fuck. I was hella fucking naive, and then I just realized I was naive, and people overreacted to me making sudden changes, and part of the sudden changes were me also just suddenly not just like turning to a bunch of people and lying to them and being like, oh, I was doing this, I'm moving over here, I love you all, I'll be back in oh so many months. And then I never left. I just started changing what I was doing with life, trying to build a career path, this, that, and the other. A lot of people that I didn't expect to overreacted. And then I just never got back in touch with a lot of people. And for a long while, I thought that people didn't like me, but I accidentally disassociated myself from my peer group. I'm just very happy I'm still alive. So I want to do Mental Health Mondays to check in with myself on a weekly basis, because I've been checking in with myself on a daily basis. And I've got myself a journal and a notepad and other stuff two and a half years ago. I've been doing really well. And I'd like to start teaching others and reaching out. And I guess the joke would be we're going to do some partying on stream on some video games and other bullshit on the internet. I'm going to do some blacksmithing and leatherworking, and casually whoever the fuck wants to watch me doing art projects can come watch me doing art projects and make fun of me not being able to draw in the lines, man. I can't color in the lines because I can't go 55! Yeah. I like the song, man. It's a good song. All right, I've got to stop this video. I'm going to go make my grandmother dinner. How do I want to close this? Life is a beautiful, diverse, frustrating thing, but I am incapable of seeing the sky. I have lost certain aspects of my imagination, and I have lost certain aspects of my whimsy and curiosity in the world around me. And I can't get some of that back, and that's okay. I'm still valid as a living thing. And there are moments where I just have absolute mental misery because I have nothing to proactively take myself out of that. And that's just a part of living. At least for me it is. For some people, they don't go through certain, what was it the psychologist said when I got my full diagnosis? I got my full diagnosis at the age of 30. No, I was 29. Yeah, I was 29 when I got my full diagnosis. So So if you're in your 20s or in your teens and you're dealing with mental health issues and you don't know what it is, just keep chugging along. Years from now, you will realize whatever the fuck the bullshit was, and you will be thankful that you defended yourself from yourself. I was saying something. What was I saying? Shit. My mind's completely ready to go cook dinner. My mind's like, this video's over. This is complete. Sir, you got this done. It's time to go to the laptop over here and turn this shit off. We're all very lovable things in this strange and diverse world of ours. And we all add to the world as individual beings. And I think that, I saw this one thing on the internet, and it's like, the only thing you need to worry about being better than is not your neighbor, but you yourself from yesterday. And it's like, no. That's a shitty measurement. Some of us need a fucking day off from time to time. Me personally, I've been freaking the fuck out psychologically about, I don't have an excuse for not doing any of this at all. Scheduling, that's the only thing in my way. Look at this badass fucking costume and a green screen. I can do costume streams of different games. I have both a PlayStation library and an Xbox library and a bunch of PC games on my Steam Deck. I don't have excuses for not pursuing content creation as a full-time job, and it will not work out as a full-time job. I'm going to fail at this too. It's gonna be fun. I hope you come along with me as I fail at content creation. It's gonna be a good fucking time. Excuse my vulgar language. But I don't have an excuse to not do this as a hobby, as things to enjoy, as to go out in some of my free time and be like, oh shit, I have nothing to do. The call of the void. No. I'm going to go out and do some vlogging. Oh, I'm going to go over this. I'm going to go over this. I'm going to go for a really, really long walk, and I'm going to just bullshit in my head while watching other people's content to be able to go back and review it when I get back to my house, to be able to use infrastructure and this, that, and the other that I've invested in. I have 2 of these mics, and I have 2 cameras. I have everything for a full podcast interview set up here. In aspects of working towards bettering your own mental health, you need to invest in yourself, both for your own enjoyment, for your own knowledge and skill set, as well as for your own fucking Rat Vegas. I had no intention of tying Rat Vegas into this video. Shit. All right. I love you as a living thing. You were a beautiful entity. You just need to be better than yourself than you were 6 months ago. And if you are not doing well at checking in with yourself, check in with yourself on a daily basis. You don't have to have daily goals, and you don't have to get a whole lot of things done every day, but you should get something worthwhile done per week, and you should get an infrastructure goal done per month. Even if that means putting money aside for a whole month to get a really nice $40 USB junction hub. This did not take me. I bought this after this was a purchase for a week. This was a purchase for a week. This was a purchase for a week. My capture card was a purchase for a week. I went to an air show, and I straight up blew money on one of these, because I had one of these when I was a little kid, and I realized I want one of these again. They're fun to look at. Humans suffer from aspects of psychological rampancy because sometimes we just get lost in our own heads. Existence is beautiful. I'll see you next Monday. Invest in your own Rat Vegas. I can't fucking believe I brought up Rat Vegas. This is a theme. I'm not renaming this video to Rat Vegas. No.